Welcome to another GL Communications product demonstration video. In this video, we introduce the PacketExpert 10GX Probe, which is our portable and comprehensive Ethernet testing solution. The PacketExpert 10GX Probe contains our best-selling PacketExpert 10GX and a single board computer into one portable and convenient self-contained unit. All of the functionality of our PacketExpert 10GX is available on the probe, including bit error rate testing, loopback functionality, and RFC 2544. Optional modules include wire speed packet capture, recording, and playback capability, multi-stream traffic generation, ITU-T Y.1564 for verifying service level agreements, RFC 6349 for TCP throughput testing, network impairment simulation, and a command line interface with Python, C#, and TCL APIs for scripting and automation. The PacketExpert 10GX Probe also contains a single board computer. This computer ships with an Intel processor, solid-state hard drive, 8 GB RAM, Windows 10 Pro operating system, USB connections for mouse and keyboard, a power supply, an optional VGA to HDMI interface to plug to a monitor, GigaBit Ethernet ports to remotely manage the computer, and a USB Wi-Fi adapter. PacketExpert 10GX supports both optical and electrical connections. The full details are shown here. Briefly, PacketExpert provides two 10 gig optical ports. These two ports can also support 1 gig optical, or 10, 100, 1000 megabits per second electrical connections. These two ports can also support 2.5 gig electrical connections. The other two ports can support 10, 100, 1000 megabits per second electrical or 100, 1000 megabits per second optical connections. We can interface with almost all SFPs on the market. All testing modules on the PacketExpert 10GX Probe can also be controlled through a web browser, as we will show in the demonstration. Popular browsers are supported, including Google Chrome, Microsoft Edge, and Mozilla Firefox, and can be accessed from a variety of devices, including laptops, tablets, and mobile phones. To summarize, GL's PacketExpert 10GX Probe has flexible interfaces, is designed for portability and field testing, covers many industry standard tests, provides automation and scripting abilities, has a convenient graphical user interface and web browser-based access, is easy to use, and is cost-effective. Now we will demonstrate a simple bit error rate test. So, as mentioned before, the PacketExpert Probe comes with a single board computer. Here you can see the specifications of that computer. A lot of these parameters are customizable, such as the processor and the RAM. We have a Windows 10 professional operating system. GL will pre-install the licenses and the PacketExpert software, so all you have to do is invoke the software from the desktop. As mentioned in our other videos, PacketExpert can operate in 10G or 1G mode. Here we'll just operate it in 1G mode. This is the main PacketExpert graphical user interface. You can select which application you want to run by clicking from the drop-down menu. In this case, we'll run an all-port BERT test. I have port 1 and port 2 connected to each other with an Ethernet cable, and likewise I have port 3 and port 4 also connected to each other with an Ethernet cable using electrical SFPs. To start the BERT test, simply click BERT under each port and then click Start. So you notice that the LEDs are green under each port, meaning that the BERT test is being run successfully. Each port is sending and receiving traffic and is in synchronization and has no bit errors or out-of-sequence packets. So this is how you run a bit error rate test using the PacketExpert Probe. It looks and feels exactly the same as running it from our other PacketExpert variants, such as putting it in a rack or using a standalone PacketExpert and connecting it to a laptop. But the advantage here is the portability and the accessibility. You can put this in a car, you can drive around, go to different sites in the field, plug it in. You already have the computer and the PacketExpert device. It has low power consumption. You can leave it in the field and then access it remotely. So, as I mentioned before, you can also access the PacketExpert Probe through a web browser. So now I will show you what this browser-based access looks like. I've pulled up Microsoft Edge and I've simply browsed to the IP address and the port that the server is listening on. Click Ports to see the status of each of the ports. You can see the interface settings. You can also see the MAC and IP address settings as well as the status of the ports. To launch the BERT test, click Modules BERT. And one of the cool features of the web browser-based access is the ability to automatically pair two of the ports together. So if I click New Pair Configuration, and I can select the east and the west port. So let's select the east port as port 1 and the west port as port 2. And what that does is it'll automatically configure all the settings for the bit error rate test. For example, it'll automatically extract the MAC addresses as well as the IP addresses. You can select the source and destination ports as well as the bit error rate pattern, just like before in the graphical user interface, and the frame rate and frame size. Once you've configured the bit error rate test, simply click Save and then click Start. So you notice that all of the LEDs are green, meaning that the bit error rate test is running successfully. To get more details, you can click on the drop down and you can see in each direction if there are any alarms, any bit errors, and so on. We also provide graphs, just like in the graphical user interface, and you can get more details by clicking Detailed View. You can click Pattern Analysis to get the raw data on the total number of bits and bit errors. And just like in the graphical user interface, you can insert bit errors. So if I want to insert a bit error at a rate of 10 to the minus 3, I simply click Start, and then we notice that the bit errors show up in the graph. Again, this can be done for each of the directions independently. So the browser-based access is a very convenient way to run a bit error rate test or any of the modules on PacketExpert. It's especially good if you have a tablet or a cell phone and you're trying to run the PacketExpert device in the field. I want to also briefly mention that the web server supports REST APIs. This is very useful for automated testing. To stop the bit error rate test, simply click Stop. So this is how you run a bit error rate test using the browser for PacketExpert. Thank you for watching. Please contact us to learn more about the PacketExpert 10GX Probe or any of our other telecommunications test solutions. We look forward to hearing from you.